Oops. Hello. I hope this is a decent time for you guys. Just so that I would check in with everybody. I just put on my new YouTube video if you guys want to check that one out. It's on affirmations, and I think it's a really good time for people to step into their power a little bit and focus on a bit of manifesting. I think that there's a lot of negative stuff online right now, and I want to focus on putting positive stuff out there. I would like to invite everyone to limit your interaction on social media. I know that might sound like quite the contradiction right now, but you know, don't really turn on the news so much. Don't have it playing in the background all day. You know, limit how many times you are accessing it per day. If there's channels that, or people that are just putting content out there that's really making you feel fearful, making you feel like really low in vibration, unfollow them. Or if you can turn them off somehow, like their alerts, I would just turn it off, because it's not really a time where you can compromise your energy. So that's what I'm suggesting for you guys. But how is everybody? I am personally really enjoying staying at home. I love it. I'm a bit of a recluse myself, so I just feel like I have so much opportunity to work on so many different projects that I've been wanting to work on. So I'm very happy about all of this. I just wrote a new blog as well that I'll be turning into a video. Again, it's something which is a bit more inspirational, because I want people to feel, you know, not so down. But just a quick hello to say hi everybody, how are you doing? Please watch my new video that I have on YouTube about affirmations and quantum manifestation. I've tried to put it on my Instagram, but the format of it, I'm having problems. I don't know why it keeps cutting off the title. That's the only reason I haven't actually posted it yet. So I'm just coming from home. You know, I've really been thinking about certain people in isolation, and you know, some people live in really small areas and they don't have many windows, or you know, so most light workers are homebodies. My YouTube is Irina Diva. Separated words though. I just feel like I have so much time to utilize now, not being bothered by certain third dimensional, you know, things like my work or certain people, or I really feel like I have an excuse to just stay home and focus on what's important. And I would really, you know, recommend people to use this time to go within. You have time to revise your energy systems, work on projects that you haven't worked on, things that you know, fix that printer, clean that room, do that gardening, do whatever you can. Keep yourself productive, keep yourself positive, keep yourself motivated for what's ahead, because this is going to pass. This will pass, and you know, if you put in hard work now, you'll be one step ahead. You'll be one step ahead. This paradigm is collapsing. It just is. So what new paradigm do you want to create? What one do you want to see? Because you can help create that. There'll be a point where it's 50-50, and the strongest ones will be able to really leap because they've done the preparation. So it's a beautiful day anyway here I am in Australia. I feel very fortunate that it's a pretty pleasant temperature. I have space to move around. I got food. I'm feeling very blessed to, you know, be okay. I hope you guys are as well. And I really hope you guys are staying home as much as you can. Please, Don't ignore the things. You know, the sooner people actually go into self-isolation, the quicker they'll be able to take control of things in a good way. Control of the virus, that is. My psychic sources say by June or summertime, specifically actually summertime of the US, when things also heat, you know, get a little bit hotter. I think that's when things are... Look, it's hard for me to explain this to people, but I actually know certain future events that I experience within the next year and 6 months. So for me, I know that we're going to get through this and that it's not the end, because I've already seen certain things in the timeline, and I've had my mentors, my psychic mentors, actually tell me that already. They told me about certain things that are going to happen in certain months of this year. So nothing's set in stone, but it was quite clear to them. And so I'm not really worried that we're not going to get through this at all. We just have to keep ourselves busy and just be really productive with the time that you have. If you're at home right now, you're not working, utilize this time in a really smart way. What do you think about as above, so below? It will clear up when the sun rises on Sunday. I mean, it's not going to clear up by then. Just won't. Lisa Renee. I'm not familiar with her work. Someone's asking me, should the US be worried about martial law? Well, look, I know that Donald Trump is going to be elected again. And so do all my psychic sources as well. We're very confident that he's going to be re-elected again. I don't think that anyone should be beating up just on Donald Trump. I think it's such a waste of energy, because this is beyond one man. This is beyond one individual here. You're working with things that are humans can't even see. So I think it's like a waste of time to jump on that bandwagon. I mean, that's just the truth. I think that the old system is falling, guys. It was a shit system anyway. We have the opportunity to build a new one. We have the opportunity to take our power and energy back. I don't know if you know, we're going to go in, if that means martial law. I really don't know that. I know that all of this falls under the New World Order and Agenda 21, and I'm very, very familiar with all of that. I'm very familiar with David Icke's work. I've followed his work for years. So I'm familiar with that, but, you know, I have my own intuition and guidance that I can follow as well. And I think it's been hard for me to, talk about everything, because it's a 50-50 situation here, and I don't think people understand that. I think when people are looking at things from a very linear, like third dimensional perspective, they're very, very limited to how they can process the current events. Whereas when you take into account things from a more macro perspective, you always can see opportunity in even moments like this. There's certain opportunity, there's certain cleansing opportunities, and you know, it's a time for people to go within. That's all I can say. There are things beyond your control right now, but you have the ability to control your energy and how things are affecting you and how you respond to things. Don't underestimate how that affects the collective consciousness. Again, they can say anything you like. No matter what systems you think are in place or what they have said are in place, you have to understand that once you start going, this is just how it is, this is their agenda, so you lose your own power when you do that. It's a trick. It's almost a trick of the mind. You know, you have to be careful about how you're going about this. You're going, this is just going the way of the New World Order. This is just how it is. If you keep saying that, then you will create that. You will allow it. This is why I keep saying there's a 50-50 here. There is opportunity. There will be a point where their system has to reach, it'll be on this one level, and you know, certain stronger ones will be able to leap in a benevolent way if you wish to. You have to see the power in what you're going through right now. You can preach how much you know right now to me, but all you're doing is spreading complete fear from your own self. And that's what I've been going in for the past few days. I was really confused for the past few weeks on how to start talking about all of these events, because people are only coming from the powerless position. Oh, they're doing this to us, they're gonna blah blah blah. Like, everyone's conversation is coming from this, and they have got absolutely no idea how they're sabotaging their own mindset, sabotaging their own energy by going, it's happening, it's the way that they want. You can't do that, because you are actually stating, I am powerless. They are winning, I am powerless. Do you see what I'm trying to do? And I am a realist, trust me, and I'm a very rational and logical thinker at the same time, and I really understand systems. But you have to be very careful about how you are approaching all of this and your mindset, okay? You are aware that this paradigm is falling. You are aware of that. You know, I'm not trying to challenge anyone in that, but you've got to know now, how do we make it go our way? How do we step into our power? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about, they're just talking about how we're victims of 5G and this and that, because they've heard this, and that they're just trying to state how much they know, but then no one's trying to state on what they think is a solution, or how we can step into our power. No one's talking about that. No one is talking about it. Why? Why is nobody talking about this? Stop underestimating yourself. Stop underestimating the collective, and stop coming from a place of fear. You've got to understand that you've got to come from a place of balance right now. It's going to test you on a lot of different levels. You know what? I don't have work anymore. Like, I have no work until my company reopens. Now, I can sit here and I can cry about it. And I can go, oh, but this, I can't do anything because I'm powerless, because I don't have this and I don't have that. But I'm not personally coming from that, because I'm making sure that I am monitoring my own energy towards all of these things. You know, a reset doesn't have to work in favor for only one party. So I've got a comment. In this period, we have to work on yourself, balancing our energy and our behavior. You have to. You have to. You can tell me how much you want about how much you know about the New World Order, but if you don't have any freaking solutions for me, then you're wasting your own energy, and you're wasting mine, and you're wasting everybody else's. Like, it's not doing anything. It is not helping anyone in any way. It's just stating, well, we're disadvantaged because, and that's it. Did you know you can talk about 5G as much as you want? You can talk about vaccinations all you want, but I can tell you that people of different vibrations and who are actually literally resonating at a different level won't be as affected by these things. Do you know why? Because they understand their energy. They actually understand their own energy. And that might not mean anything to you, but it is so much more powerful than you think. It means that your immune system won't be affected on the same level. You will know how to heal your own energy within your own body, your your chakras. You'll know how to focus on mending that, so there is less distorted energy going within your body, less chaotic energy, so you're less affected by these things. Stop thinking that we're powerless and that they have all of the power, and once they vaccinate us, it's going to kill us and it's over. Let me tell you something. I've had all my vaccinations from when I was a kid because my parents didn't know any better, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm still not able to be a channel, to be a medium, to be able to step in my power. If you say, I can't do it because I've had all of this, fine. You're fucking up your own journey. You're sabotaging your own journey and your own power. If you take this time to go within, work on your vibration, truly heal those wounds. You've got time. Some people really have time now. Like, they are literally not doing shit every day. They're at home in quarantine. You have the time. Work on yourself. Work on yourself so you know how to protect yourself. People say they know how 5G works. Okay, so what does it do to us? What can you do to minimize that effect? What can you do to stop that? What can you do to make it work in favor for you? Or how can you do it faster? How can you adapt? How can you adapt to everything that's going on right now so you still come out on top? So you can still go, this is my energy. Whether you're pointing your finger at elitists or whatever, you can go, nobody fucks with my energy, just me. I own it. Do you own your energy? Do you own it? When you were talking to me, trying to tell me about everything you know about certain agendas, do you own your energy? Is it coming from that place? Rethink everything that you're thinking about, that you're processing, that you're focusing on. Rethink it. Is it really where you're stepping into your power? Is it where you're most powerful? That's what I want people to start. I want them to take that approach. How can we band together? If I take this time to focus on healing on my own energy, how does that affect the collective that's being reflected? Do I underestimate myself on how powerful I am in a circumstance like this? For the person who, almost not worth my time, the person going adapt to hell, you have no idea, there are energy thieves everywhere. I do have an idea because I am a medium. I really do know. I get attacked a lot for what I do because I openly do this, and I openly am aware of my own vibration, and so are they. But what do you want me to do? Sit here and complain and cry about it and be like, oh, but they're everywhere. Please stop sabotaging your own energy. You're the one who's losing it to them because you're giving them permission. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of any one of them at all. You either know what works with you and through you, or you do not. And if you do not know your own power, you better invest this time to step into it. You should always invest your time to step into it, not just now, but always. I don't want fear just being spread in these conversations. I want encouragement. I want hope being put out there, because we really do get past this. We really do. There are other timelines. This doesn't just end here. What can you do now to make it easier for you in the next few months, over the next few months? What can you do to empower yourself? Are celebrities getting paid to say they have the virus? No, I don't think so. I really do think they're having the virus. I don't think everything is completely fake in that sense. I think, I mean, you know what's interesting? It's interesting to see that Prince Charles was diagnosed with it. That one was very interesting, but in the future I'm not going to be focusing my stories too much on that, because everything else, every channel and avenue of any form of media is being overly consumed by what is happening. We need more of the other stuff. We need more of the other good energy going out there, going, yes, the paradigm's falling. How do you want to participate in creating the newer, better one? How do you want to do it? We don't need to focus on building the old one. The old one is falling, and it wasn't good anyway, so I don't feel bad about that. Do you want to be part of the new one? Okay, here's a good question. Thank you for asking this. What are you personally occupying your time with during this quarantine? These are the questions we should be, thinking about. Me, I'm really working on my blog and towards my YouTube channel. I just did put a video on my YouTube channel last night. I just wrote another one today. I'm taking time to just do those little things that I haven't had time for recently. Catching up on everything, but building on this type of work, my passions. I'm focusing on this. I don't want to go back to the old system. I have, people don't have time. That's why I don't have time. That's why I haven't been able to do this. I haven't been able to focus on this. This is why I haven't been able to get this done. You have some time now. You do. Even if it looks helpless, you have time. Make it work for you. Make it serve you. This time, right now. It doesn't have to be a horrible, depressing time. It doesn't. It doesn't. No. 2020 is still going to be amazing. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Nothing. Not even a virus. Not even a virus. Fear is more dangerous than the virus. Overall. That ruins even more lives than this. So I'm not fearing it. I'm doing self-isolation though, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that the sooner people go into a self-isolation, fuck whatever conspiracies you think are really going on. The sooner you do that, the better. I do not want to be around other chaotic energies right now, regardless. It's already so heavy in the collective itself. All you would need is a few weeks. A few weeks, if you actually put people in isolation, you will be able to take control of it. It's not more powerful than us. How it's being managed carelessly is what's making it more powerful than us. This is the time to create new norms as the old normal is gone. Yes, it's falling. What role do you want to play in the new paradigm? What ideas do you have? Got someone asking tips on how to step into our power. I think energy is the first thing that we need to be revising. You have time to revise your energy systems right now. There is always an opportunity, always. And I know if you guys have been following my story, you guys are gonna know that I am a huge fan of Star Trek, and especially the Star Trek Discovery, series on Netflix. And this might sound crazy, but if there's one thing I have learned, it's absolute resilience from the characters and what they go through. It's like it's taught me that show is stressful. Like, their lives are threatened in I know that it's not real, but I think we can still learn something from that. We can learn about character adaptation and play that into real life. You know, I felt inspired by the constant resilience in certain characters. I admired that, and I was like, we can be like that too. And so it's really, really inspired me. It's like I was almost meant to watch that series right now, because there were so many times where you just think that all hope is lost and you can't do anything, and they would have certain short periods of time to go, what are we going to do? What is the best possible solution right now? There was so much tactical thinking and strategy, which I think is also needed right now, because it's just a form of strength. That's and of course, yes, meditation helps you to step into your power. Of course, but meditation comes in so many different forms. I was just doing singing, you know, really just 10 minutes before I went on my live. Because I used to do professional singing, and I just sort of was doing my own singing, and that's a form of meditation. I was like, I'm going to enjoy this moment right now, that I'm alive right now, and I'm continuing to step into my power, and I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm going to still enjoy the beautiful things about this life, about this reality, about this dimension. That show made me cry as a kid. Where do you see us as a society in the next year and 5 years? Is there a light to the end of this? Yeah, I think so. I think you've just got to understand that we're in a certain energetic period where there's just so much purging happening, you know, and it's kind of happening all at once. I still think there's going to be a lot of things that happen within the next 5 years. But then it'll change after the next 5 years to the next, within that 5 to 10, so decade. We're in interesting times. It's not the end though. I was telling earlier in the video, I was saying that people need to understand, like, for example, I've been told about certain future events in my timeline. I know certain things I'm going to experience mid-year, later in the year, you know, and I know not everyone can do that. I understand not everyone has, like, maybe a mentor that can access the timelines like that, but that's really what I have been told, and I look forward to those things, and it's not going to stop. I'm going to experience those things. Things will be fine. This is real. You will pass, but you just, you know, do your best to try and get through it. When do you think we will finally get to see aliens on Earth? Well, I think they're already here. Okay, I really do think it's just a resonance thing. Hello, Kenny. Thanks for tuning in. I think they're already here. I think they were here before us. I think they've always been here. So, do you mean like an actual open disclosure from the government? I have no idea. I really don't know when that's going to happen. But you don't need them to do that. You really can initiate it yourself. I think Billy Carson is an alien. Why do you think Billy Carson is? So funny. I was just speaking to him yesterday for quite a while. He was giving me updates in Florida and stuff. I think we all are. I don't think just Billy is. Billy is a grey. Stefano, don't put stuff like that on my feed. Come on. It's an intellectual conversation here. He said he was once. Would you like to know what I was once? No, I keep that a secret. Stefano, stop it. You're lucky you're my friend. You're lucky you're my friend, otherwise I block people when they do stuff like that. That's the only reason I'm allowing him speak like that, guys. But he's not allowed to anymore. He's been warned. Um, oh, sorry, Alex, you were saying, did you see Teal Swan's video on the virus? She has multiple videos on the virus, but sorry, on the virus. But I agree with almost all of the work that she does, because we, I think, really come from the same perspective of things. And I know that she's like, we need to be focusing on the new sort of system. Stop focusing on this one and how it's being torn down, and the shock that it's, creating in you. The new paradigm. What do you want? What do you want to create with it? Because you have a part in this. We all have a part in this. It's not just people that are like the New World Order has. No, we all have a part in this. Are you going to step into your power and participate? Or are you just going to let them tell you how it's going to be? You can rise or fall in this situation, and I really hope that we choose to rise, and so you don't underestimate yourself. I don't know, he has a strangely friendly vibe to him. He is, like, I can tell you, and for someone who spent long periods of time with Billy, a few days with him, he is one of the most friendliest people I have ever met. He will treat the janitor and the CEO the same. He is very kind. And he is very humble when he meets, like, my friends that he met, people who don't know very much about anything we discuss. He's very kind to them, and he's so encouraging. He's really, he wants to pass that good energy on to other people. So I really have a lot of respect for Billy in that way. Do you think that this happening is also a shift from 3D? We're going through energetic changes. Absolutely. So yes and no. I don't think it applies to every single person. I really don't. I think that some people are ready for that merge, or some people are more merged with different dimensions compared to other people consciously. If that makes any sense to you guys. We're technically, we are 3D, but we're sort of like 4D, 3D, technically. But I just say 3D because that's really the mindset that's currently dominating right now. It's of consciousness. It's still very limited. It's still very linear. How is Australia, by the way? Our store's closed. Yeah. No, we're not on a full lockdown. We're on what they call a stage 2. So, and that only started today. So, shopping mall, food courts and that type of thing is starting to be closed. But I think within the next week that we will go into the level 3 and all things will be closed. So there are still shops open. Like retail stores, I don't think they should be open. I really think we should just close it, cut it, let the virus, don't give it opportunity to thrive and to be to catch on. Just don't give it, cut it off. That's it. Suffocate it, so to speak. I don't fear 5G like I used to. I know it's going to have health effects, but all I can do is work to, it's not going to stop, guys. 5G is going to happen. It's already happening. It is what it is. You can sit here and you can just keep resisting it and fighting it, but it's not going to do anything for your own energy. You're not going to be able to protect. There's nothing to protect yourself. Do what you have to do to protect your own energy. Educate yourself. There is a man who I actually want to study with. He does biogeometry. He's an Egyptian man trained in Egyptian sciences, and I think his name's Ibrahim Karim from he's amazing. Go look up his work. I've talked about his work for about 3 years now. I would research into stuff like that, because he's actually worked on a community level. He's the only person who's worked on a community level, which has reduced the effects of 5G. And it's by using certain types of geometry. And it infuses ancient Egyptian engineering sciences. So, you know, do what you can to protect it. It's not... I know about the DNA altering. I know all of that. We've had our DNA altered before. Are you going to get through it and make it work in favor for you? Or are you just going to let it be... You're just going to be like, oh my God, there's nothing I can do. I'm a victim to it. Toronto is a ghost town. Yeah, I think a lot of places will be soon. I heard Canada's been hit pretty bad. Is it Gasara? I don't know, I'm not familiar. But I'm terrible with names. If I sometimes have a photo or a picture of a book or something, I'm like, oh yeah. What do you think is the most important thing to work on? Health, finances, or spirituality? All of them? All of them. I think you have time to work on all of them. I mean, finances, is there anything you can do to help you get through this period, or that you know is like that you can be strategic about when this passes, how it can help you boost your finances back up more quickly? We still need food to eat, and we're still in the monopoly system. So that's why I think that just as important is health and spirituality. But energetically, absolutely energetically. You know that learning about your energy and understanding your energy points, it can boost your immune system. Your thought intention, what you are doing with these energy points, you can cure yourself. You can seriously cure yourself from getting very, very sick. So you can also protect yourself. You can energetically learn to protect yourself. You can become more aware of your own vibration. And it's very hard for me to explain this to people, because it's not linear, in the sense that you're working with some things that you might not be able to see, but once you're more merged, if you know what I mean, you will be able to pick up on other energies around you. You'll be able to channel information. That's what I can do anyway. So I know when something's happened, or if I react in a certain way, I'm like, whoa, what's that? It's like a certain vibration that I can feel, and I'm like, what triggered that? And so I look at it from that. So I'm not as attached to everything. I'm not as attached to my emotions in the way that maybe I was when I was younger. You can take a step back and you can decode all of it. The human emotion, it's like a coding for things. It's connected to all these other things. And for me, it's like a puzzle. And I'm more interested in working it out than, just falling victim to it. Who was your friend that you said came from the sun? That was a celestial etheric being that I had when I was a child, who was from the galactic central sun, which I'm absolutely honored. I don't know if you know much about that. It's some very, very old harmonic of the universe, very old blueprint, which I was connected to. Yeah. When I say old, I mean an original, like one of the more original, earlier harmonics of reality. And one other thing I want to state about 5G, I want to state that I don't think all of it is necessarily about modifying our DNA. I really just think it's economic greed. It's just they want power. It's like every movie you've ever seen, which is based around these types of, you know, greed and theft and control, and you know, they want it because it'll allow them to control certain things or have more power in the military, or the FBI will be able to access AI in a certain way, or you know, like it's about stuff like that. Can you tell us more about it? What do you mean the original? I mean, I think you would need to research into like the construct of the matrices of reality. There's different harmonics. That's the construct of it. So that's of a certain construct, that particular harmonic. So it's one of the it's kind of really hard to explain unless you study a little bit more into it. I don't have a lot to yeah, it's like there's different layers of harmonic resonance. So when people talk about the Anunnaki, for example, this is a really old race. It's a very old race, but it's not of the same harmonics. Okay, let's look at it this way. I just thought of an idea. Think of a video game and think about the different levels. Say if you have a warrior video game and it goes through different levels and stages of graduating into being a better warrior or becoming more powerful, getting more skills. Like the harmonics is like this original or one of the first few that you like. It's a good thing. Like it's kind of like you would kind of want to aim for that because it's of such a high resonance. Yeah. But it goes more into etheric, celestial sort of levels. Like it's right up there. That's how I view consciousness when I try to, I'm just like, it's like the video game, you know, where you upgrade into the different levels. So I don't know if that helps. I hope it does. Are there billionaire humanitarians? Yeah, I think so. You know, do you want to become one? This is why I don't fear money in the same way that I do. Because I'm like, we're still in the monopoly system. You can either keep giving the corrupt ones, the corrupt agendaed ones, the power and the money, or you can do it and you can utilize it in a good way to bring down those systems and fund bigger ones. And Billy and I are very like that. We don't understand why humans fear being in positions like this. It was like, well, it's really one or the other. You can just keep giving it to them, or you can take it and you can do something good and you can invest in a technology that will help people, or, you know, whatever. Help the good scientists, invest in these people so there's less power for the other forces. Well, we're well aware that money doesn't mean anything in other dimensions. Would you say reality is dual or non-dual? It's dual. What this dimension is. Everybody ain't human though. Don't underestimate how powerful humans are. Stop thinking that other interdimensional species and races are more powerful than you. You got a bit of everything. Being human. There's nothing to be ashamed of. The only thing humans should be ashamed of is their level of consciousness and them disregarding it. They're in power. That's what humans should be ashamed of. It's disregarding their own power and not stepping into it. You're only in the situation because you're allowing yourself to be. You're allowing your collective to be hijacked. You don't have to if you don't want to. What do you think about The Simpsons and their accurate predictions? It's interesting, isn't it? I don't necessarily think that the guy's a time traveler. You can work stuff like that out just from astral projection. You don't even need to physically leave this dimension. So, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting. There's one particular Simpsons, you know, they have online, you can look up all the examples about how they've, had it before and how they have it now, with reality. It's like the one where they're all around the globe, I think it is, and they got the hands, and you've got the Arab guy. That one for me was the most interesting because that was very specific. Like, there's the one where he's going down the escalators, Trump. He's gonna be going down the escalators at some point in time, a lot actually. So you could easily just cut footage of him going down an escalator and go, oh my god, he's going down an escalator. Sorry. He's going down an escalator. Like on that Simpsons. Oh my god, it's the same. It was like, well, he's probably going to go down an escalator every day of his life in what he does, with people around him. So that stuff really I didn't think was that big. I think The Simpsons give us notice as to what their plans are, not their predictions. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, I think. This is the thing you got to understand. Like, when you start to understand the power of manifesting more, that guy could have just manifested that in. Do you ever think about that? Seriously. You could just manifest it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I saw this. Was I accessing that future timeline? Maybe I just manifested it. Maybe I put it in my thought intention into a certain vibration where I made it happen. And then, so it wasn't so much that I went into the future or I had a premonition. I manifested it. So we've got to be very careful when it comes to this sort of thing. I'm not really a fan. The person asking about Santos's work, I'm not really a fan. I'm just reading, sorry. Okay, so I'm reading your comment, Tony. In my study of the law, I found that a maxim is giving notice in an energetic sense. That is how they avoid karma, by giving notice. Possibly. There's really a few different avenues to say that we know exactly. But if anything, it just shows you the different variables and options you have. Isn't that what you want to take from it? I really don't care about what he was doing. If they can do that through a few different potential options, why don't you incorporate that in your life? What can you do with it? I just think that humans puts things on a pedestal constantly. They put things like it's outside of themselves. This person is doing that or whatever. Why don't you do it yourself? Why don't you learn? Why don't you experience these things for yourself? Alex is saying, did we see what was to come? Or did we manifest it, or both? Yeah, there are different options. Choose your own adventure. We're creators. Please go see my latest YouTube video. It taps into this manifestation about how you are a creator, how the trick that they use against you is the separation. Once you realize that there is no separation, then you have no separation from what you can access. Do you get it? It's like we're being manipulated, but it's quite simple, some of these. It's not that difficult, some of it. How do you protect yourself from negative energy? If you could provide 1 or 2 specific pointers. You know what? I definitely am still, I feel like we can continuously learn. I haven't mastered everything, you know, anywhere near that. You know, there are forces that can work in ways where it is a manipulation, but you have to work out that manipulation, and it can take time. Sometimes it can be right in front of your face. But I would really say it's to focus on your own energy. It's so hard for me to say, like, it's really that. Get to know your own energy. And you can only really do that by going within. I know people don't want to hear that because it's not specific, but you have to go within. Try meditating. Do different types of meditation. Conscious breathing is huge. Go intentionally get used to your different brainwave states that you're going in when you're going into meditation, when you're going out of meditation. Get to know, you know, those theta and alpha brainwave states, so you can tell the difference from when you're in a beta brainwave difference. That's actually what I do. I put myself into the altered state of consciousness, sometimes through maybe listening to forms of music, and then I go into that state, and then I'm more free. I'm not controlling and thinking on a certain level where I'm logically trying to rationalize and break down everything I'm experiencing. It goes beyond that. It goes into just being present or being moldable. Like, my reality is just, yeah, I can merge with the other dimensions more. I allow it to merge with me more. Once you do things like that, you will become more, you will sort of raise your own vibration through those sorts of exercises, and you will be able to identify your energy levels. It's a process. And when you start to do that, you'll be able to be aware of the feeling of when your energy is low, when it's higher, when it needs regeneration. Sometimes if I snap at people, I know now when my energy field's getting distorted, for example, and then I'm weaker. Because I'll start acting in a certain way, or I'll be there just trying to survive and get away from, like, you know, like I won't be as nice about things because my energy field's distorted, and I'll have to do whatever it is. I'll have to go isolate for a little while, or eat certain food or something to sort of get it back up. I can't teach you how to do it from a beginner. It's really hard for me to explain this because I am a medium channeler. I didn't choose necessarily consciously to go into certain states. I got pulled into them, and I just had to freaking learn to survive and adapt to and I didn't necessarily even understand what was happening. So, you know, you just have to learn, and you have to take the time to look things up or ask. Go within and actually ask that. Like, ask your guides or your higher self. Ask for, show me a book that is good to read. Like, people really don't understand how powerful that is. If you think you're by yourself, you're never by yourself. There are always energies connected to you that you can tap into. Don't think about how do I tap, just do it with your own thought intention. Be very surprised about what responses you can get. It just might take you a while to start to learn to know when that's happening. You know, this path is not for every single person. Okay, but I don't really know how to teach it from a beginner stage, because it just started happening to me. You know, it happens now. I can get pulled into trance in public, and I'm like trying to not go into trance because it's really inappropriate. I'm in public or something, and that's something that for the past probably 8 months became difficult for me, because I had sort of been initiated myself in a certain way where I was going through this merge, and it was just merging like whenever it wanted to, and it was like, stop it, I can't function right now, I'm at work, I can't, and was like wanting to pull me into brainwave states which would require me to not communicate to anybody and just be processing or seeing things in my third eye, and there's a lot of distraction around me, and so I still don't fully have control over that. I don't have a list that I can give you, but I really think one of the most amazing people to begin with is Joe Dispenza. He's really amazing because he just breaks everything down, and from the energy side, from a scientific side to a psychic side, he sort of blends it all in, and he himself knows how to do that. Sid City's saying you're not in control yet. No, this is very intense. It's not something, it's like, it doesn't happen like that. It's something I'm learning to, to go through those notions. It's very intense when you're a channeler. It is, your antenna does not, you don't get taught how to just turn it off. It's constantly receiving in your sleep time. And you've got to be aware of how that affects your energy. Trance is a much deeper state of consciousness. And when I'm in trance, I'm not necessarily asleep with my eyes closed. It's like I can be like open, and I'm like, I can see things in my third eye, like I can see it, like it's real, like it's just there, but it's like a merging of dimensions. What do you think of God and creation? Do you think that Earth is managed by a different God or entities that's not a creator of the universe? There is no God sitting on a cloud. Sorry. There is creation energy. There is God source energy, which is like, you can say creator. You can say God if you really want to. There is definitely a higher power source of energy that we're connected to. There has to be. But there are also many different entities which are much more evolved than us that interfere with the third dimension. Not just like other dimensions too, they can interfere in. Joe Dispenza, for the person asking. I don't know if it's something I'll ever control, but I know that one of my friends he's only recently been able to sort of turn it off and on now, and I hope I can reach that stage. Okay, so it's going to cut me off now, guys. Sorry, I've got 10 seconds left. I'll come back and see me again on my next live. But check out my YouTube video. I'm so sorry, it's going to cut me off now.